Episode 3. Welcome back. Appreciate you being back. Glad to have you. And we are making this number 3 of the week. We're keeping it rolling. We're keeping it moving. We tried another camera angle here by request. Make it seem like I'm talking to you a little bit more here. So let me know if that's working out. And as always, just put everything down in the chat. You can respond to this afterwards if you're watching it on replay. And let me turn this audio down right here. For some reason it is echoing there. Hopefully you guys are not hearing that echo in there and the mic is set up properly for you. So today we're going to talk about talking to strangers. And the reason we brought this one up is most that they were scared of rejection because of the fact that they are speaking to strangers and they didn't want to do that. And they find that tough or difficult. So we're going to talk about a few things in regards to the surprising truth about talking to strangers. I've been very fortunate and blessed to travel the world and go to a lot of different places where I had the opportunity to speak with strangers. Those being people that I never knew before, they never knew me. And at some point, you have to be able to engage in conversation and have to be able to have that one-on-one chat. And so it helped me to grow and have the ability to conversate with those that have different viewpoints than myself, like different things, don't like some of the things that I like, see the world differently. So that gave me that opportunity to do that. So I appreciate it. I love it. I enjoy chit chatting with other folks. So here we go. Let's go over here. And how can let me make sure that this is on here properly. Boom, there we go. Make sure that's working there. So as always, say hello in the chat. Let me know where you're listening from, tuning in. Let me know if you got anything to add, anything to take away from this. Again, we are live on Facebook, a couple pages on Facebook, Instagram, or no, we're not on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, whatever you call that thing there. So like I said, we are discussing the surprising truths about talking to strangers. And if you're just joining in, we appreciate you jumping on. Hit that like button. I got to remember to add that. Hit that like button on the whatever platform that you're watching on, so this can get pushed out to others that may want to hear something this morning, or maybe they have something to add. So go ahead and do that for me there. I'm going to jump over to the other screen here and get us going for number 1, and that is going to extend your network. So that's the first thing about it. But let me backtrack a little bit here and say that as children, we were probably warned about talking to strangers. But now you may want to break those rules because studies have shown that small talk can make you smarter, healthier, and happier. The University of Michigan researchers discovered an increase in problem-solving abilities after casual social conversations. They found that those interactions may lower the risk of heart attacks. Another study found that commuters said their train ride was a lot more enjoyable when they engaged with other passengers, and those good feelings lasted for hours. Just be honest here. How many of us have taken a long ride somewhere? Maybe it'd be the 4-hour drive from Central California to Vegas, and you're in the car having a good conversation. That trip flies. But if you're in the car, you're not saying anything, you're not chit-chatting back and forth, that could be a long drive, right? Same with flights. How many of you have flown from West Coast to East Coast or overseas, different places? those, if you're sitting by yourself on a plane and you're not able to conversate and engage with someone, that trip just seems like it takes forever. But we got to be able to not be afraid to say hello, speak our minds, and have a good conversation with somebody that is on that flight with us. And like I said, it just makes it that much more enjoyable. Maybe you still feel a little uncomfortable speaking up first, but the rewards are worth it if you're ready to brush up on your small talk. So, again, we're going to go into number one, and that is going to be the ability to extend your network. Casual conversations can lead to job opportunities and business connections. You may meet a future client at the airport or at the deli, one of your favorite places there. And that's something that you already have in common. So you already know that you both like something because you happen to meet at the same place. And that's where you can discuss things again, catching a train, a taxi, a Uber, a flight. Those are avenues where you can jump straight into a conversation. Where are you headed? How long is it going to take you to get there? Do you often travel? Things of that nature there. And now you're already engaged in conversation. And now you're able to expand your pool of connections. Who knows? Maybe you'll end up moving from California to Florida, Florida to California, Texas, New Hampshire, whatever, wherever you may be traveling, you have an opportunity to meet someone and speak with someone. So on to number two. And we are talking about making new friends. Who doesn't like making new friends? Um, Close friendships and romances have to start somewhere too. Sharing an observation or extending a compliment may help you find companionship and love. I don't know how many of you know the story of how my wife and I met. So we actually didn't like each other at first. I think I shared this on one of the other stories there, but it still took us being able to conversate with each other. And I'll bring that up in a later episode or something. But we ended up having a class together in kinesiology at the Cal State University of Bakersfield, and we ended up chit chatting back and forth. And now, rest is history. Married, two kids, and been together for just about a decade and a half here. So it had to start somewhere, and it had to start with someone opening their mouth and speaking. And you have to be able to not be so afraid of engaging in conversation because you never know where it could lead. You could end up with the love of your life or a job that you never thought possible, but because of that contact, because of that connect, now all of a sudden that's something that is working out for you. So hopefully you guys take advantage of that. You try your best to get out there, make some new friends, not afraid to meet some new people and have a good conversation with those around you. Let's jump into number three, develop new ideas. And how that comes about is there's a natural tendency to surround ourselves with others who come from similar backgrounds and share our views. Reaching out beyond your comfort zone introduces you to fresh perspectives and greater knowledge. Um, how many of us have friends or circles that we're in, and just like I mentioned, is everybody thinks the exact same way. Everybody does the exact same thing. Everybody dresses the same way. Everybody likes the same thing. It's kind of boring to me, honestly. But it's good to have somebody that has a different viewpoint than you because now you're opening your mind up to seeing things in a different light, seeing things in a different way, instead of always wanting it to be the same exact way that it has been since you were born or since you were in your teens or since you became an adult and you're stuck on this one viewpoint. I think that's something else that the world needs these days, but we won't dive too deep into that. But we need to have the ability to see, understand, listen, and hear everyone else's viewpoints. And let me go over to the chat. There we go. Sean Arders, what's going on, my man? Everybody, say hello again if you're just jumping onto the chat. Let me know what's going on, what your thoughts are, how you been, are you talking to strangers? But we have to be able to do that. And Sean Arders is one of the guys that I met over in San Antonio, Texas, and we became good friends. And Sean is um, doing the fitness side of things over in San Antonio now for a professional soccer team. So he's making his way. And in order to do that, he had to open his mouth and conversate and meet new people and be able to engage in proper conversations to have that opportunity presented to him, and he's taking full advantage of that. All the best to you, my man. All right, so let's jump back over here, and I got number 4 lined up for us. Increase your mindfulness. All right, so it is difficult to focus on the present moment because you're overwhelmed by your to-do list. Talking with anyone face to face calls your attention to what's happening now. So what I mean by this one is basically we have so much going on in our day, so much going on around us that we forget to just breathe for a moment. And a healthy distraction can oftentimes lead to better productivity. It allows the brain to refresh, and again brings in a new idea. And you may bring up, "Hey, I'm stuck on this XYZ over here, and I'm hitting a plateau." And they may say something very random or secondhand, and then all of a sudden it clicks for you. And when you're able to go back to work, you're off to the races, rocking and rolling. It's the same with when I asked for input here. They suggested moving the cameras around, or dropping this over here, or having the ability to change different things on the fly. And that's something that's been working out for me, on at least on my front here. So hopefully it does the same for you. So let's talk about some tips for breaking the ice. You're like, "Hey, Lyle, we're talking about all this over here, but how exactly can I get things rocking and rolling? How can I conversate with somebody?" So let's jump over to number 1 on that, and that is assess the situation. So what do you mean by assess the situation? Of course, some occasions are better suited for small talk than others. Someone who's concentrating on their golf swing isn't likely to laugh at your jokes, right? I'm talking to you. Let me switch this camera up. I'm talking to you that I beat in golf. So that's my father-in-law, my father, and my brothers. Yes, I smack them up in golf every once in a while. But having that ability to recognize the situation and know that while somebody's doing something that might be serious or require a little bit more focus, that may not be the time to have that small talk. On the other hand, strangers who are making eye contact with you while they're stuck in a long, boring line make excellent prospects. Again, sitting down, waiting for a plane to arrive, anything when you're in transportation, in my opinion, seems to be a great time to be able to engage in some conversations with someone, even as you're walking. How often do you see someone and you just say a simple hello, "Hey, how you doing?" Then all of a sudden they may say, "Oh, I think I saw you the other day. You're jogging." "Oh, yeah, that was good. I saw you started off jogging 3 months or so ago. Now you're speeding the pace up. Awesome job for you." Whatever that might be there, and that's a way that you start engaging. And then you might see them in the store later, and then boom, now all of a sudden you're best friends. I mean, well, maybe we won't be best friends, but you get what I'm saying there. All right. Number 2 for breaking the ice is we got to find some common ground. And just start off small. Browse online for something interesting to talk about, the weather, an upbeat news story. Those are usually safe topics. I like to do the opposite. I always just say, if it's super hot outside, I'll say, "Oh man, it's freezing," right? And then they'll give a little chuckle. Or if it is super cold, then I'll say, "Oh man, it's so warm today." And it's just a way to allow them to lower their defenses, um, see me as somebody that they can just have a quick conversation with, and kind of just engage in um, anything other than just standing around. Or nowadays, standing around and just looking at your phone like a zombie. It's so much more fun to engage with other people in real life, face to face, making eye contact, seeing facial expressions, things of that nature. Now, I know it's difficult in certain areas. You guys have masks on and don't have masks on, so that can become tough. We know that those things are getting lifted soon. So let's get back to making eye contact and engaging in conversation like the way we were designed to be doing. All right. Now we're going to go over to number 3 with breaking the ice. Look approachable. If you still feel awkward making the first move, you can encourage others to seek you out by putting a smile on your face. Carry an art magazine or a science journal, When you're in a hotel lounge or coffee shop, choose a seat that faces out into the crowd. This way, you can engage with others and be able to invite them in, show them that you're willing to have a conversation, and that even if you are a little nervous about doing so, this allows you to jump in there and get after it and have that quick little chat. They might ask, "What kind of coffee do you have?" or "What are you drinking?" or any of the any of those situations there can come up. I don't drink coffee. I drink tea. Oh, okay. Well, why is that? And then boom, boom, boom. And all of a sudden you're rock and rolling off to the races there. All right. So let's go into what I have set up here as far as tips for sustaining a conversation. So how can, once we get comfortable, we're feeling good, we got the conversation started, how can we keep that conversation going? What is that going to take? What does that look like? So I wrote down here, if let's go up a little bit. So what we want to do is listen attentively. So how often have we had a conversation with someone and they're looking down at their phone or they're looking over here, over there, and the conversation is not going to go anywhere because, for one, if I'm speaking to you or you don't want to pay attention to me, I don't want to engage in that conversation. So how do we keep that conversation going? Is you show others that you're interested in what they have to say. Focus on their message instead of rehearsing your response. And that was something that I did used to do quite often. Was I was listening, but I was trying to figure out how I was going to respond to what they were saying instead of just truly soaking in everything that they were saying, and then being able to take a short pause and then go ahead with my reply at that point. So how many of you have done that or still do that? Let me know down in the chat. And again, if you're watching this, hit that likes up button so it can get spread out to other people that are looking for something positive to watch this morning or listen to. And I appreciate you guys jumping on here. So let me go over to number two here. In order to keep that conversation going, is tell stories. So kind of similar how I do here with talking to you guys about some of my past experiences, some of the things that I have been through, some of the things that I've done. It just helps with learning a little bit more about the person, but you can also sit there and draw out that conversation a little bit longer. And I think that it's quite enjoyable. I love hearing stories about people, whether it is X Games and I've never even ridden a skateboard, or what else we got? Motocross. I've always wanted to ride a motorcycle. Maybe there's something crazy off the wall. You talk about deep space and galaxies and things of that nature. Those are all very interesting to me. I love hearing things that is very different from what it is that I do on a day-to-day basis. So let's jump over here to number three on keeping that conversation going, is asking questions. So pertinent questions also keep a discussion flowing. Make your inquiries open ended so the responses require more than just a yes or no answer. So, how long have you been doing that? That's quite interesting, and so on and so forth. I know you understand that one quite well there. Number four, go deeper. All right, go deeper into the conversation. What's more satisfying than small talk? Um, Research shows that we like small talk, but we tend to feel even better after a true heart to heart chat. While you want to be sensible about how much personal information you disclose, you may also want to risk opening up a little bit, showing that you're a person, and not doing how most of us have seen or tried to do on social media, where everything is a perfect life, perfect things work out. But oftentimes people don't mind or often enjoy hearing about your life's mistakes or things you're trying to change up, or how you're trying to get better, or how you're trying to improve. So I think that's something that is totally awesome there. So if you can, go a little deeper with that conversation and keep those people engaged there. Okay. Number five, express your appreciation. So it's easy to It's easy to like others when they seem to like us. Let someone know if you think they're funny or insightful or they've added something special to your day. I love saying, hey, that's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Wow, I didn't know that even existed. How do you make that work? Oh, this is great. So happy I ran into you. It makes them feel a little bit better about opening up, sharing their conversation because now they're going to feel a little more comfortable going over to the next person, and you may have learned something a little more there as well. Hey, we got a few people that just jumped on. Hey, appreciate you jumping on. Hit that thumbs up button, that like button, so that the conversation can keep going on. If you have anything to add into the chat, go ahead and feel free. I can respond to it that way. Greatly appreciate you. Yeah, there we go, Josh. Appreciate you, my man. Lyle and Katie are bright spots in my life. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. We appreciate you, you and wifey coming through. We enjoy having you guys, and I appreciate you jumping onto this daily podcast that I have been going on for the last 3 days here. We're going strong. Appreciate that. So let's go over to number 6. And number 6 is our final step in keeping that conversation going. And that is going to be the follow up. So the follow up, now that you're on a roll, you've allowed yourself to open up to have that conversation. You've made that conversation. You responded back a few times. You've asked some great conversations or questions there. You're letting them know that you're enjoying the conversation. You're having a good time, and we want to see if we can keep that roll going. And you find a way to stay in touch if you're hitting things off. Introduce yourself and hand out your business card if appropriate. Look forward to meeting them again if you frequent the same running track, or schedule a coffee date if you want to be more productive. And I think I can recall at least 4 or 5 good friendships that I have had where I didn't know the person at all. We had a conversation. We ended up hitting it off. We had a lot of things in common, a lot of things that weren't in common, but were a little bit interesting to both of us. And we ended up, having this lifelong friendship. And there's people that I still speak to out in Colorado, Idaho, Florida, Jamaica, China, Honduras, Vancouver. I've been all over, and having the ability to keep those conversations going, keep those conversations flowing, is always a good thing. I always enjoy it. I always have a good time with those. And hopefully you will allow yourself to open yourself up to everything that's going on for you around your space, your place, and don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be shy. Things will work out. Running with scissors is kind of risky, but talking with strangers is a good, healthy, and beneficial for your career. Reach out and see what a difference a little small talk can make in your daily routine. So stay focused. Don't be too scared. Things will work out. And if you're young and you're watching this, you're young and listening to this, make sure you're not giving your whole life story, telling them where you live, your address, giving out all that information. That's not what this conversation is about. This conversation is about speaking with people that you can grow with and learn with. So you guys have yourself a great day. As always, we want to make sure that we're being better than yesterday. Small daily increments. We can get there, and that's all it takes is that small daily. And as always, we got let me throw this up real quick. We got the shop.lylemartinjr.com for your merch. If you want to help just support the channel, keep things going, keep us going on here daily, I would appreciate that. And then if you're local and you're thinking, man, I need to start moving a little bit more, want to start working out in a family-oriented atmosphere, great community, here's our link to one of our promotions for the gym. It's bit.ly/motivate starter. Go ahead and jump on there. Lastly, hit that likes up button, share it with somebody that could benefit from listening to this. And I had a note here. I was having a conversation with one of my brothers last night that was saying we need something for the group name. Let's call them something. So we came with Lyle's Lions. So what we did is strength, courage, and justice. All right. So let me know what you guys think about that. Lyle's Lions. So you lions out there, let me know if that works for you. Let's hear a roar. Maybe that could be our new logo or something. Letting people know that we have strength, we have courage, and justice. So strength in numbers. We have a good community here. Those that have each other's back, those that look out for one another, those that lift each other up. Courage. We have the courage to improve ourselves daily and not be concerned about those that don't believe in us because we have our strength behind us and our numbers. So we are courageous in going out and doing things to improve ourselves. And then justice is just doing the right thing all the time for ourselves, for our family, and for our community. So I think that's something that can be good for us, the Lions on here. So I appreciate you jumping on here, Lions. Again, have a great day. Be better than yesterday. And I'll be back on here tomorrow. So I appreciate you guys jumping on. If you have any requests, feel free to drop them in the chat. Send me a message, and I'll get back to you. And I'll continue to base our conversations off of what has been asked about in the group. You guys take care of yourself. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you soon. All right. Bye bye.